Okay, so hopefully you've successfully installed and made a backup of the Bet Tracker spreadsheet. First thing we're going to look at is the Settings tab. Now this is where you can configure the Bet Tracker to your own requirements and tailor it to your own needs. There's various things you can set up within here, and I'll show you where these are affected on the Bet's record sheet. Firstly, you've got a list of bookmakers. Now, when you open it, we've set up a list of dummy bookmakers. You can edit this, you can add or take away whatever bookmakers you wish. Similarly with the bet source, so this is really where do you get your tips from? Is it my bets or your own bets? You can call it whatever you like. Which tipsters do you use? You can add or delete from this list. The course, we put in there, basically when we first started, this was going to be just a horse racing bet tracker. But the feedback we got, there's people obviously bet on other sports. So we've put in there home and away, which is for football, rugby, cricket, etc. And it's pre-populated with all the race courses in the UK. So you don't have to put those in if you want to track by course. And I'll say why when we look at the bets record and adding bets. The bet types, you can add or delete these at your will. I would keep these three here, win each way quarter, because you'll see in a bit that these are used in a lot of the calculations. So don't delete those three, but the rest of them you can add or delete as you wish. And what sports do you bet on? Again, add or delete as you wish in there. Before you do all that, we'll look at the dummy data in the bets, adding the bets one, but this is to make you aware of what you can and can't do in here. Now, on the exchange commissions, we put in these three here. You can't modify these because they're using the calculations. If you wish to add new exchanges, I think Smart Markets an exchange, let us know and we'll add those in. But what you can do is you can change the commission levels. So whatever commission you're operating on at Betfair, you can change that. So if you're on 2%, you can leave it as is. If you're on 5%, you just edit there, and I'll show you in a second where these all appear in the Bet's record sheet. So you can change those for your commission levels. These you can't change. These you can't change. This you can change. So we recommend that you do have a betting bank, a separate betting bank for your bets, and you can set your starting bank at whatever figure you want it to be. If it's £100, put 100 in there. If it's 1,000, 500, whatever it might be. And again, I'll show you in a minute where that appears on the Bet's record sheet. There's two staking systems in the Bet Tracker. There's a level stakes, which is set default at £20. Now, you can set that to whatever you want it to be. Now, just to be aware that if you set the level stakes at £20 and you record an each way bet, it will split that £20 to £10 each way. But again, you can override all this in the bets record sheet when you're actually entering your bets. Now, you need to have the box checked. There is a slight anomaly with this at the moment, that they're not mutually exclusive, so you can have them both checked at once. It will default to the level stakes if they're both checked, but if you want to use percentage of bank, you click this one and untick that one. Now, what the percentage of bank does, initially it'll look at the starting bank of £1,000 in this case. So 1% of that £1,000 bank is £10. And again, if it's an each way bet, it'll split that £10, £5 each way. It will then look at the running bank total as your profit and loss goes up or down, and it will take 1% of the running bank total. And again, I'll explain that in a second. So for now, just leave them as they are, because when we go through the bets record sheet and with the dummy data, you'll see how changing these has an effect on the performance metrics and the graphs. So where do these appear? So let's look at the bookmakers. So we've got a list of bookmakers here, and you'll see I've got new bookie at the end there. If we go to the bets record sheet, and you'll see it's already pre-populated with some dummy data. I'll just clear that new bet line there. First of all, we put the date in. So today's date's the 11th. And when you click on bookmaker, there's all your bookmakers in that list. Now, the last bookmaker in the list here is new bookie. If I go back to settings and I change that to new bookie 2, because if you notice you've already got a new bookie there, and then I go back to bets record and I do that drop down again, you'll see that new bookie 2 is then in that list. Similarly with the bet source, the sport, the venue. Now we've called it venue there because, as I say, we originally set out for it to be a horse racing bet tracker system, but because we've added other sports in, we've included the ability to put a home and away, or you can even put grounds in there if you want, whatever you want to put in there. The bet type again, the drop down, you can add your bet types. At the moment we've got both teams to score half-time, full-time, match bets under 2.5, over 2.5, etc. You can add or delete those depending on what you want to use. Selection is a free type box, and the result then is won, placed or lost. And the exchange, when I said you can change this figure here, so if I go into, so if you're on Betfair or BetDAC using decimal odds, you put Betfair in, it automatically applies the exchange commission. And it will, don't worry about this at the moment because we've got no data in here, it will deduct the percentage commission from any winnings, but not from any losses. If you then go back to, if I delete that, and I go back to settings and I change that to 5%, and I go back to the bets record sheet and I choose the Betfair exchange again, notice it's put 5% in, and it will use that in the calculations. So once you've had a play around with the dummy data, you can then tailor this to your own requirements, and you can set the bookmaker, bet source course, bet type sports, and the exchange commissions and your starting bank and your staking plan to tailor it to however you want to use it. So that's the settings sheet, and we'll go into the bets record and adding a new bet and how we can delete bets, add bets, and set the different odds, etc.